It is Friday, July 9th, 7:01 a.m. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. We are under a flash flood warning. The city of Brownsville, Los Fresnos, and Rancho Viejo till 9 a.m. this morning. We have here the Doppler radar that shows us that we're going to get a lot of rain. We have been getting a lot of rain all night and into this morning. We already have 2 to 3 inches of rain as of right now. We'll see how much rain accumulates as we deal with this constant and I would say much needed rain. Uh, it has been raining for these past couple of days. We should be having rain up until 1 2 p.m. this afternoon. Good morning. Good morning, Leah. Crazy weather. Yes, it has been raining cats and dogs. I hope you have a dry, dry Friday. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, bro. Did Boca Chica construction gonna cause flooding? Um, I'm not sure. I was on Boca Chica yesterday. I did go work out. Um, for the most part, it there is water that's building up, but it's not nothing that we are used to. It is under construction, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. But again, we encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to go anywhere for the time being. I understand, we work and things like that, but um, it might be, it could be bad. We have that experience before, but I don't think the construction on Boca Chica would cause major flooding. And again, we're going to be getting rain all the way up until 1 2 p.m. This afternoon. We'll see how today goes. Hopefully, it does not rain much more than what we have been experiencing. Here we have the weather. 88 degrees in Brownsville, 85 Cabrera Boys, South Padre Island, Hardingen, 88, McAllen, 88. So again, it is gonna be a wet one all week. Most of Robindale underwater. Oh man, yeah. Try to avoid as much as possible being out on the road, unless you have a truck, of course. But some areas are going to be experiencing waters. Again, we do have 2 to 3 inches of rain right now, and it still hasn't subsided. 802's looking pretty bad for small cars. Yes, my Porsche is very low to the ground, and I don't go anywhere once it starts raining. So again, if you have trucks, by all means, go to work, go to places that are necessary. But if you have a small car, low car like mine, it'd be best advised not to travel on it, at least for the time being. Local news: Alejandro Martinez Jr. from Lopez was awarded the Tom Landry Award of Excellence. It is for the characteristics of having great sportsmanship, having great character, and being an overall great student athlete. We congratulate Alejandro on this achievement. We are very fond of Coach Gutierrez and Coach Barba there at Lopez. So Alejandro Martinez does run track. So we wish him well. Congratulations on this award. Brownsville City Manager Noel Bernal recently appointed Rigoberto Flores as the chief chief municipal judge for the city of Brownsville. Judge Flores is a graduate of St. Mary's Law School. He is in private practice. I think Judge Flores did cement himself when he, for his closing remarks in a federal bribery case, in which he, in my opinion, based on his closing arguments, is what swayed the Corpus Christi jury and found his client not guilty. That is how I remember Judge Flores. And ever since then, he's been like Whoa. Um, so congratulations, Judge, on this new position. We wish you all the best. We also got a word that there will be preparations for having a second causeway. We saw how in previous years, 10 years ago, we saw how they tried to acquire the funds for this bridge. The way they were going to be paid for it was through toll roads. TxDOT shut down that project because they found that there were some things against the law that they wouldn't be able to fund this project through the toll roads. But now the Cameron County Regional Mobility Director, Pete Sepulveda, says that Cameron County, along with the city of South Padre Island, will be trying to push this project forward. It is a great way for the city, neighboring cities, to have more tax revenue locally and for the state. And it could also provide an evacuation route. Uh, Again, this is something that won't come into fruition until another 5-7 years. There will be a environmental study that will be done on this project. So this is something that will be get underway, and the way they're going to be funding for it is they know that they can't do toll roads anymore, but they were trying to work with TxDOT to see what options are available. So that is something that we should be seeing 5 to 7 years from now. There was a special session yesterday where our elected officials met up and spoke about important, very, very important issues. Um, we saw them bring up election integrity, border security, social media censorship, critical race theory taught in school, bail reform, abortion restrictions, transgender athlete ban. But obviously, the most important that was not discussed is how Texas would be fixing the electric grid and our water system, which these things weren't. They weren't in on the agenda. And one thing that Republicans we have been seeing more now is that they're trying to control uh, their dominance in politics, and the way they do that is by controlling the elections. Uh, the Republicans, they tried to push an initiative that would overhaul the elections in the state. They tried to limit drive-through voting, a bigger stance on providing an ID. They're just trying to do everything possible to minimize individuals that um, I guess wouldn't go with all these restrictions, um, and and they failed. It was their second attempt to pass a sweeping elections overhaul, and the Democrats, like last May, they did a walkout. Um, and again, what's interesting is that El Paso, we had 23 individuals murdered in a Walmart. Uh, we had um, the winter freeze. 700 people died because they didn't have electricity. They didn't have a heater. But there's only been 16 cases of failed addresses on registration forms, and this is the big issue that has come up, uh, and the reason why the Texas session was called because of election integrity. And while we support that, and we think that this is something that does need to occur, um, obviously the bigger picture is the future of our electric grid. God forbid something like this happens again. We saw how everybody in the state of Texas suffered tremendously. Some for um, a week, if I've heard of cases. So this unfortunately was not on the agenda to be discussed. And again, the Governor Abbott, he is up for reelection, even though he has not performed to the best of his ability, in my opinion. He has managed to grow a large war chest of $55 million for his election bid. We have already heard how Matthew McConaughey is gauging interest to see if he will be running for governor. Beto O'Rourke is a very popular candidate that we've heard that might, if Matthew McConaughey does not throw his name, that might challenge Governor Abbott. On the Republican side, we have seen how Allen West, the GOP chairman for the state, has already announced that he will challenge Governor Abbott for the Republican ticket. So even though Governor Abbott has um, not really addressed the more serious issue of the electric grid, even though he's focusing more on the border wall, he is going to be heavily financed for his reelection. We also got a word that gas prices are expected to rise another 10, 20 cents through August. We already see how right now in our area, gas price right now is 270, 274 at the most. And we should be expecting it to be at possibly 280. This is something that we have seen throughout different products. The price for wood right now is very, very expensive. Uh, I've spoken to a realtor developer that claims that right now it will take close to around $300,000 to build a house, which would regularly cost you 200, 220 at the most. But these are the times that we live in, and again, we have to think about gas prices. If gas prices go up, best believe that everything else is going to go up. Our dairy products, our meats, everything that we depend on is going uh, to rise. And again, just life is expensive. It's getting very, very expensive. It's hard to manage. It seems, but again, expect gas prices to rise in the very near future, and we should be experiencing this through at least through August for now. The Houston area. Houston is dealing with a little outbreak of the new Delta variant, and this is something that many doctors have warned us to be cautious of. We have seen how our area has been a little lax on our facial coverings, even our social distancing. The Texas Rangers actually were the first sports team to go back to full capacity, and they just built a beautiful new stadium. And I think when they opened up, there were 50, 60,000. But this is back in April. But there we are being warned that this is something that we should think about. Maybe we should be using our hand sanitizer more, using a facial covering, and worrying about social distancing. The RGV, we have close to 80% of adults that have been vaccinated in our area. But we did get a word that they're recommending for us to get a third vaccination uh, for the ability to protect against severe COVID-19 over time. We have heard previously how people who have been vaccinated either get COVID again or unfortunately pass away. So we are being given information on a new study that suggests that we should get a third vaccine just to protect us um, from COVID, severe COVID cases. So this is something obviously that we're going to be dealing with for the very near future. So this is something that um, you might want to look into if you have already taken both of your vaccines. Here in our area, Cameron County reported 51 new COVID cases. So we'll see how that goes. Um, National news: President Trump is in the news. He has sued Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for censoring him. We saw how back in January the 6th there was an insurrection there at the Capitol. Many have criticized former President Trump in stating that he did not do anything to have them disengage, that in fact he even encouraged individuals to storm the Capitol and take back America, so to speak. Um, I believe in free speech. I understand the reasons why. And again, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, they are a brand. They're global. and this obviously has a lot to do with politics. They probably don't like the guy, but again, he is using their platform to use his rhetoric, whether you like him or not. He has a particular way of addressing certain situations. Um, it may not be, I guess, it's frowned upon, obviously, but we have seen how President Trump has tried to venture off into his own platform, which he hasn't been very successful at it so far. So we'll see how this goes. But again, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is censoring President Trump. Sports, basketball. Yesterday, the Phoenix Suns played the Milwaukee Bucks game 2, and we saw the Phoenix Suns defeat the Bucks 118 to 108. Giannis did everything possible. He did have a double double, 42 points, 12 rebounds. He just needs help. The Suns have been a matchup nightmare for the Bucks, and you just see throughout the game how the Suns have been distancing them with the Bucks. So we think that this should be a good series for the Suns. And Alex, if you're watching, Suns in 4, man. The Olympics. Also, we got word that the Olympics will not be having fans. Japan is worried about COVID in their country. We have seen how there has been a rise in COVID cases in that area. We have heard of other countries that are also dealing with the same issue. And again, Tokyo 2020 is in jeopardy. First, they're reporting that we will not be having fans, and possibly, we might not have this event. We will see how this goes. But again, this is something that we're going to be dealing with in the very near future. COVID. We thought that this was something that was just going to be a 6 to 12 month thing. We might be dealing with this for the next few years. To all my wrestling fans, Big Diesel, Kevin Nash, he will be in Brownsville on August the 7th and 8th at the Brownsville Event Center. Star-based collectors will be having an event, a meet and greet, so to speak. If you are a fanatic of the NWO, I encourage you to go to this event. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to try and go. It's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, August 7th and August 8th. So Kevin Nash will be in Brownsville next month. I thought it was pretty cool. Tyson Fury tested positive for COVID. He was set to have his trilogy fight against Deontay Wilder, but now that fight is going to be postponed. As of right now, they are trying to set this fight for August. This is going to be a great summer for mixed martial arts and boxing. It was a good lineup, but unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to see the trilogy in this fight. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, they decided that they will not discipline the fighters for marijuana use. We have seen how even football, if I'm not mistaken, has football and basketball has been a little bit more relaxed on the use of marijuana, especially football, based on the grind that their bodies go through throughout the season. So we see here also how several states have allowed the sale and use of marijuana. So throughout the state, throughout the region, they are allowing it, and so is the Nevada State Commission allowing their fighters to use marijuana. And this weekend should be good. Tomorrow, McGregor will fight Poirier in their trilogy as well. McGregor is a showstopper. It should be an interesting fight. I'll be looking forward to this one. Morning, Joe. Thanks for tuning in. So it should be a good weekend. McGregor always puts on a show. So we'll see how that goes. Happy Friday, guys. Stay dry. If you don't have to go out, do not do so. Um, we do have a flash flood warning till 9 a.m. in our area. So be safe out there. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.